Hi, welcome back. So in the last tutorial we looked at firing bullets in a direction with a given speed. So that was fine, it was working great, but we noticed there was an issue, which I'm going to demonstrate on the screen now, and that is that once I fire my bullet, firstly the bullet passes straight through the monster, and also the bullets pass straight through the walls. So we're going to look at how we combat that today. So what we really need is that once the bullet collides with the wall, it destroys itself, so it destroys the bullet. Also, if the bullet collides with the ghost or the monster, we need both the ghost and the bullet to be destroyed from the world. So we're going to look at how we're going to do that, and all the coding we do in this tutorial is going to be based on the bullet object. So let's have a look at the bullet object. So currently we've got a create event on the bullet object, which allows us to identify, or at least programs, the direction in which the bullet is going to be shot. And remember, that was based on an instance variable that we created in the player object called shoot_dir, and that identifies which direction the bullet is going to be shot in. Also, we've given the bullet a speed, and obviously the bigger the number, the faster it's going to travel. So let's deal firstly with the most simple of the events, and that's going to be what happens when the bullet collides with the wall. So we're going to add an event, and we've programmed collision events before, so this is nothing new. So we're going to come down to collision, and we're going to select which object we're going to test for a collision with, and this is going to test whether the bullet is in collision with the wall. So we're looking at this section here. Okay, so I'm just going to type in my description in here. Destroy bullet when colliding with the wall. Okay, and this is a very straightforward piece of code. It's a pre-built function. It's called instance destroy. So that means it's going to destroy the instance. And remember, I said that instances are anything that appears on the game screen. So that could be the player, the wall tiles, the bullet, the ghost or monster. So because we're dealing with the bullet object, and this is being coded in the bullet object, it's going to destroy the bullet. So I'm going to open and close brackets, and then end with a semicolon. Okay, so let's see if that works. Let's run this. Okay, so I'm going to shoot the bullet, and you can see that the bullet no longer passes through the wall. Okay, so that's working great, exactly what we want. So it now destroys the bullet. If the bullet wasn't destroyed, by the way, what would happen is, and this sounds really strange, but you would crash the game eventually, because as you fire bullets, just because they go out of the game window, they are still in existence. They don't destroy once they leave the room. So if the bullet goes through the perimeter of the room and you keep on firing, what you're doing is creating more and more and more and more bullets, and eventually that will make the system lag and crash. So I'm not saying that would be a quick process. That could be quite lengthy, but it's you always need to make sure that you're dealing with any object that goes outside of the game room. So it needs to be destroyed if it passes through walls and things like that. So really important that you do that. So that one's working fine. So now we need to deal with what happens if we shoot if the bullet touches the ghost. So at the moment, like I say, it passes straight through the ghost, but it's destroyed when it hits the wall. So let's have a look how we do that. So unsurprisingly, you're going to create another collision event, so for testing for a collision. So we're going to be testing for collision with an object, and this time it's going to look at the monster. Okay, and this time I'm going to say testing for collision with the monster or enemy, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's come down to the next line. So if it does hit the monster, we want it to destroy itself, so the bullet needs to be destroyed. So we're going to go instance underscore destroy, and we're going to open and close the bracket, and we're going to end with a semicolon. So that's going to, hopefully that will work. So let's have a look at that. Okay. So let's come up to shoot our monster, and you can see I'm going to release the bullet. Boom. Right. So you can see what's happened there. The bullet's been destroyed, but the monster's still there. And the reason for that is because all we've told it to do is to destroy the current instance of bullet. Okay, because obviously you've written the code in the bullet. Now, you could go back and program the destruction of the monster in the monster object, but that gets a bit messy and it's difficult to follow the code. So I'm going to show you how we destroy both objects at the same time. So I think I'll just run the game again. Okay, so I don't want to do that. Right, so what I'm going to do, inside the bullet objects, there are two instances in a collision. There's the current instance, which is the bullet, and there's the other instance. So the other instance is the monster. Okay, so we've got the instance and the other instance. So if I type in this with, open a bracket, other, so that's in with the monster, I'm going to come down. This is a blocked piece of code, so what we need to put in after this is curly braces or curly brackets. So I'm going to put in the curly brackets, which are those. So I opened one, press enter to come to the next line. You can see it tabs in the by here, it tabs in my next piece of code, and that's to make it easier to read. Okay, so with other, then I've opened the curly brackets, I'm going to say instance underscore destroy, open a bracket and close a bracket, so exactly the same as you did the last time with a semicolon. I'm going to come to the next line and I'm going to close the brace or curly bracket, whatever you want to call it. So now I've got two lines of code. I've got instance destroy, so that's going to destroy the bullet, and then with other, so with the other object, so with the monster, open up the curly brackets, we're going to destroy that instance as well. So what will happen, it'll destroy both the bullet and the monster. So let's see how that works. Okay, so here we go. Let's fire the bullet at the monster, and both objects are now destroyed. So that's how you use collision testing to destroy objects. If I wanted to, I could actually destroy the wall tiles as well, but what the point of that would be, I'm not really quite sure. It might be that in your game you might have different coloured wall tiles that you can do, floor tiles that you could do certain things with. So maybe you might have some destructible tiles. Well, you could do the same thing with those then. If it hit the wall, you could put a with other statement, and with those different types of tiles you might be able to destroy them with bullets. Okay, but that's up to you and how your game design goes. But that's how you destroy bullets when they hit walls, and how you destroy bullets and instances of other objects when they touch. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to look at collision detection and the zones in which we can use we can set for collision detection with objects. So I'll see you in the next lesson.